This stuff sharpens you, man. I think it's good. Maybe it's good to get your butt handed to you a little bit because, by all accounts, they won the day both times against Cleveland. Maybe it was. Guess what? You're not going against Cleveland's offense now. Wake up call here, boys. Right. You got Mike McDaniel, you got Tyreek Hill in there now. Real quick on what's going on with the open practice today, which is still, by all accounts, still going. They started around 10, maybe a little bit after 10 a.m. in Miami. Obviously, it's a lot hotter in Miami than it was in Cleveland for those ridiculous 2 o'clock starts, but that's a whole different story. Not that I'm bitter that they started at 2 o'clock. But anyway, so today it appears 2 things. One, Miami's offense really took it to the Eagles' defense, okay, for starters. Tyreek Hill, nobody had an answer for. In fact, Darius Slay, that's not a shock. I'm not saying, obviously, he does this to a lot of people. So it's not, this is not panic time. I'm just relaying what happened. But he beat up on everybody, including Slay, including anybody they threw at him. Slay left at one point with a limp, came back, got burned again, limping. They finally pulled him and shut him down for the practice. So I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not telling you it's anything serious. We don't know. We'll find out. John will give us an update. And if we get anything along the way, we pass it along as we go here. So on the other side, the Eagles offense didn't exactly shine either. It was a bit of a rough day for Hurts, a lot of checkdowns. I saw Brandon Lee Gowton tweet that he may not have completed a ball more than 20 yards today, which isn't a great sign. And things got a little bit chippy. Shockingly, Derek Barnett was involved in one of the chippy. Yeah, I know you can't believe it. It's really hard.
Derek Barnett, no,
I know. I can see Nick Sirianni, him again, or what did he say that one time? It's always him.
It's always him. Yeah,
it's always him. So there was that, and also Landon Dickerson got into a little bit of a melee too. So
there you go.
I'm okay with it. As long as nobody gets hurt. I don't mind you get a little chippy. That's okay. That part of it's good. But it was back and forth. Barrett, I want to ask you, because there is a distinction between 11 on 11, obviously, which is what you normally play on a, in a game and whatever, versus 7 on 7. Because one of the things when we were talking about this pre-show, and I was saying, hey, it looks like it's the Miami offense is taking it to them. You said, well, hold on, was it 11 on 11 or 7 on 7? It was 11 on 11. So what's the distinction there for you? Because you said it's a completely different deal.
It's a completely different deal because, a quarterback has more time when they're going 7 on 7, 1-on-1s, things of that nature. So, I mean, those type of drills are kind of wired towards the offensive side of the ball. They tend to have the leg up because they have no one rushing the pass or anything else. That alarm clock, inside a quarterback's head is not sped up, or doesn't have to react in any type of way other than to, get the ball out when he feels as though it's time. When you're on 11 on 11, there's all the different factors. You got, the offensive line that are accountable for who they're blocking and how they, put themselves in a position to go out there and have the right timing in situational football. When you don't have the line out there, when you don't have tight ends out there and different factors, well, of course, it's going to look like, the offense is doing better. And when you have a guy like Tyreek Hill, I mean, who's just uber fast, super fast, fastest, supposedly the fastest guy out there on the field, well, I don't know, Quez, I may have something to say about that, but, if he's running around in 7 on 7, 1-on-1s, I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? There's no clock. There's no other factors. That offensive line doesn't have to block Brandon Graham or Hassan Reddick. But if it's 7 on 7 and it's real world, that means all the factors. That means who's calling the plays? Are they being aggressive enough? Are they sitting back? The reason I was saying, are they sitting back and not wanting to let him get behind them, to get behind the DBs, so they're not sending blitz, they're playing coverage as opposed to being aggressive? That's the big thing I want to know. Okay. Did he stop being aggressive because he had the speed of Tyreek Hill? Because if that's the case, then we're going to lose a lot of games, because of him fearing one player or another.
Yeah. So two factors to keep into account, Gunner, when you real quick. One, Slay was back and forth like it sounded like a lot of the practice with the injury, and Bradbury was out. All right. So you're down at least one starter. And then another guy's compromised to an extent. I'm not making excuses for the Eagles. I'm just trying to give you the whole perspective here. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gunner.
Yeah, getting beat by Tyreek Hill is nothing to be ashamed of. That man has put a whole lot of people on his highlight reel. They've tried to double team this man, triple team this man. You can't stop Tyreek Hill. Nobody can stop Tyreek Hill, especially if a quarterback can stand back there an extra second or two to pat the ball until he frees. You don't stop a Tyreek Hill. But what you do, you get incredible work ethic going up against the Tyreek Hill, trying to anticipate his move, trying to cut, turning your hips, on a dime, trying to press coverage a guy like that. This is the quickest guy I've seen off the line of scrimmage in terms of avoiding a press coverage of that initial jam by a DB coming off the line of scrimmage. It's a great opportunity to work against one of the best in the game, period. Mm-hmm. One of the quickest, one of the fastest. Nobody tracks a ball better than Tyreek Hill. Nobody cuts on a dime better than Tyreek Hill. Now, unfortunately, as you just talked about, Tyreek Hill can cause a lot of DBs injuries because of his sudden movement. I've seen him cause players knee injuries, hamstring injuries, and I'm assuming somewhere along the line we're going to hear that Darius Slay may have tweaked the hamstring, trying to twist and turn to keep up with the Tyreek Hill, but that's okay though, long as it's not severe. So anybody out there want to blow up a Tyreek Hill smoking Eagles? Tyreek Hill smokes any and everybody he comes up against. I mean, what do you expect? He's the elite.
I hear
and I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people in general.
No, and especially you're down, right? I mean, you're down a couple bodies, it feels like.
What? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. The other one who got into a bit of a scuffle, I think I mentioned this, was Landon Dickerson. And apparently he wasn't backing down. So, that's one I worry a little bit with him with the injury history, man, but, that he had in college. But anyway, so a couple of those guys getting after it. And like I said, we're going to get the full reports. It was a really hot day, so I think tempers were a bit edgy. It was over 100 down there, so a little different than what they were dealing with in Cleveland, I'm sure, last week. But you know what? This stuff sharpens you, man. I think it's good. Maybe it's good to get your butt handed to you a little bit, because by all accounts, they won the day both times against Cleveland. Maybe it was, guess what? You're not going against Cleveland's offense now. Wake up call here, boys. Right. You got Mike McDaniel, you got Tyreek Hill in there now. Et cetera.
Jalen Waddle.
Waddle's a little banged up, but yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah,
man, Miami's got an array of talent. I mean, this is the best of the best, and the Eagles are not going to see many offenses like Miami's this season.
No,
absolutely. You're not going to see. You ain't going to see that kind of speed on a regular basis when you look at who they're facing, and you're not going to see that type of quarterback play or physicality. Miami's a loaded team. I said I can't say it enough. I think Miami's season is based on who's quarterbacking that team. And who I think is going to end up quarterbacking that team.
Bridgewater,
but this is an incredible opportunity for these Eagles individually and collectively to find out exactly where they are. And obviously, for all the reports that we've seen coming across Twitter, they got their pride handed to them today. And that's all right. That's all right. You go back, you look at the film, your coaches are going to yell at you. You know what? Take it to heart and get ready for what's to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and it's going to be interesting this year with them, with a new voice for Tua, with Tyreek Hill added to them.
Xander. Come on, Xander.
And Xander, who is our producer, who is an Alabama guy, is a big Xander. Tua guy. So he's going directly against Gunner's Teddy Bridgewater.
Tua's going to be hurt. I hate to say this. Tua's going to get hurt at some point of the season, and Teddy's going to take over. Then the controversy is going to start. Who is this team better under, Tua or Bridgewater? And let the stats fall where they may and make that decision. But Tua's going to get hurt. Tua's like to me a little bit smaller version of Kyler Murray.
Yep.
With not having Kyler Murray's deep ball arm strength. That's what I see Tua.
I hear you.
Look at their wide receiver position, man. Of course they're going to have guys going to be. Did you have to cover who they have in? I want to know who they had in for Brandon Berry. Was it was it the rookie? Was it I want to know that also. See, so I wish I was down there, man. I wish there was a way in which I could be down there, because then I could have a more accurate assessment instead of looking at tweets and stuff like that to give me an idea of what's going on down there, because it might be blown out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? They might not have the horses in there, and that's why. So is this going to change my viewpoint on should they play in the preseason if they get their butts handed to them? No. I don't think that, they're going to play.
Right.
But it still doesn't change the fact that, these guys on the other side of the ball get paid too.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
They get paid.
They're trying to feed their families, bro.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing, man. I mean, that's good. There, get a little
Go in bruise.
Take one on the jaw.
Yeah. So it'll make going into the last 2 weeks, going into the first game, more intense. They're going to think more about what's going on as opposed to just thinking that everything's going to be fine and dandy and rose-colored glasses and all this type of stuff.
I think Dan Cilio makes an interesting point. 98 degrees, 98% humidity, over 100 degrees. Eagles aren't his claim is they're not in the best shape. But I'm asking you guys,
they're not in Miami shape,
right? Well, how much of it is do you worry a little bit about the shorter practice? How much do you concern yourself?
All that stuff factors in. All that stuff factors in. I just don't think it's one of those things where, I think it's more so being in a different environment. That heat down there.
Ain't no joke.
It covers you. It engulfs you. You can't get it off you. It's like you're trying to wipe off the humidity off. So you might have a squall for like 15 minutes, and after that, it's 105 degrees.
Yeah, man. You got helmets on, shoulder pads. You got gear up under you. The Eagles not used to that kind of heat, man. And especially if you're allegedly, again, based on what we're seeing on Twitter, if you're allegedly getting bested play after play after play, that's your pride, your ego at stake. Yeah. And you got coaches yelling at you too. Naturally, you're going to take an exception to that. And that's where things start to heat up a little bit.
Yeah.
Does anybody know? Yeah. Does anybody know who played for Bradbury? Was it Zach McPherson? Was it?
I'll have Xander.
Josh Jobe.
I'll have Xander text John McMullen, and we'll get an answer for you.
Right. Maybe Josiah Scott. I want to know who was in there for him. As far as on the depth chart, who started it out.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about, man.
Absolutely, man.
I need to know.
Yeah, you need to know, because that's a good point. If you're going against third stringers, Tyreek Hill should be taking you apart. Tua should be picking you apart if that's the case. So, yeah, absolutely. I think it's why you do this. You're exposing yourself to different things. That's a good thing. Whether it's different players, whether it's conditions, because guess what? Especially early in the year, who knows what you're going to be getting heat-wise, later in the year, cold-wise, rain-wise. This is all part of it, man. It's all part of it.
And also, you get hit in the face, you get knocked out. How are you going to get back up? What I'm saying? You might get up back kind of fearing, thinking you don't belong there.
Yes.
I've seen that happen to guys. All of a sudden, that same bounce that they had is also all of a sudden gone because they become human again.
Man, the Mike Tyson theory. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Right. And I think this is so good. This environment they're in right now, even though they're playing the game on a night side on a Saturday, that humidity is still a bear in the evening when it hits 7 o'clock on a Saturday. For the young guys, even the young guys that you're expecting to contribute a lot, like a Jordan Davis, I want to see where they are in terms of being able to handle this kind of play. Now, I don't expect to see a Jordan Davis and a Kobe Dean playing a lot of reps this particular game, but there's a lot of young guys that are scrapping for jobs. We're going to find out what kind of stamina and endurance they have in this game. And even though Miami's number ones are probably not playing, Miami still got a lot of quickness down on that team in general. Miami is built for speed, period. And we're going to find out what these young guys look like against Miami. Now, maybe they're ready. And sometimes, it's like going to Denver. It takes you like 24 hours basically for your lungs to get adjusted to that thin air up there. Same thing down in Miami. Mind, body, and soul, it takes you like a full 24 hours sometimes to get adjusted to that kind of heat and humidity in Miami.
They changed that a lot too, back when I played, because when I first started my career back in 95 and, going up until I got to like the 2000s, teams will go up to Denver early to try to get their bodies acclimated, but they figured out, even when going to California, we go up at 2 days early instead of, so our bodies get used to it. But there are studies, and they started changing it, that teams that went out there the day before, ended up playing better than the teams that went there 2 days before. Their body didn't get acclimated. In fact, it made it worse. It made you more tired. Even going to Denver, just go out there. It's best to go out there the day of and go out there and play as opposed to going out there for a couple of days, because the reason why it's people in Denver and plays, that's why the Olympic train in Denver, is because you build more red blood cells in Denver. Well, it's same thing. When you play in Denver and you go down to Miami or you go down to Tampa, man, you don't get tired, man. Your lungs are open because you have all those extra red blood cells to carry oxygen to your body. Now they going down there is a decided advantage for them because they've been in that weather before. They're practicing that every day, and sometimes it's gonna kill a team to go down there. But hey, that's what you need. You need to figure out where you are as far as conditioning, everything else. I also saw John Dickerson's. He gave me a report on the street. Says Job and Scott didn't practice. So it probably is McPherson. If he's accurate with it, probably is. Thanks a lot, Dickerson. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So you're thin, right? I mean, you're really thin back there. And again, that's okay. That's okay. Right. I like a little bit of a smackdown to wake them up. I'd be curious to see how they bounce back tomorrow. You got to have a better handle on it. The other thing you have to take into account with this is how vanilla are these, is the approach from the defensive side or an offensive side for either team? Or are some teams just kind of going after it? And this is what we're going to look like. By all accounts, when it comes to the open practices, teams are willing to take more risks and show more because there aren't cameras there like there are for preseason games.
Right.
So maybe you're seeing a little bit more of what it may look like too. In fairness, I don't know. I mean, that's why I'm glad we have John there, boots on the ground, who's going to give us a full sense of what this thing looks like. But it could be just a matter of, the Eagles are a little bit short. They didn't execute. We'll find out. And again, they were taking on a Cleveland team that's definitely compromised. That's for sure.
How many guys do they have out right now? From the looks of it, they got a lot of guys that are not playing right now. So,
and by the way, Miles Sanders still out.
Yeah.
I mean, do we start getting concerned here? I know John Clark reported earlier, hey, it's not a big deal, and I'm sure. Yeah. I'm not in any way questioning John's reporting, but I'm sure part of that is John's hearing that from maybe somebody at the Eagles side of it. It's like with this guy's injury history, I'd be lying if I wasn't a little concerned here that he's still not out there playing.
I'm not worried today because too many players are dealing with hamstring injuries across training camps. I'm not worried right now. Hamstring injuries right now are commonplace in the NFL. Now, if you're telling me that 2 or 3 days before that first game, he's not practicing. If we start seeing reports, Miles hasn't practiced for 2 days in a row. Miles Sanders is in individual skill workouts only. Then I have a little bit of concern. But right now, no, I'm not worried about it.
It's been more than a week now, but I hear you.
I like that. You look at the last gun on the street. Jay said, "We're not going to overreact to a bad practice." No, we're not. Let's just get this out there. No,
we're not. What we're going to do is talk about it, though. We're not going to overreact.
Yeah, it's today. It's right. It's right. It's today.
I mean, it's not like they're going to, lose the NFC East now. The trash.
Man.
And here's what I would say to Jason: y'all never overreact to good ones, so don't start. Well, what we did, if you watched the show last week on both days, Thursday and Friday. We reacted to exactly what was going on, whether it was good or bad. So that's incorrect there, Jason. Incorrect. So we talk about it, whether it's good or it's bad. We don't cover it up.
We have to.
It's bad. That's just the way. And again,
I mean, we were blowing it up when they were smoking Cleveland. So you got to talk about this.
Correct. So you can't have it both ways. You just keep it real with what we do. I don't think it's the end of the world. Like I keep saying, I think it's good actually to maybe you came off a week where you're probably sniffing yourself a little bit, and then this week, or at least today, it was a little bit different where you weren't quite as good. So I think that's a good thing.
You go out feeling yourself, thinking you're not vulnerable anywhere, and then you figure out, when you play against somebody that's worth their salt, like we talked about teams with over 500 records, and you play against them, and then you get your back kicked in because you were overconfident of the previous competitors you played against. Yeah, all this stuff factors in. So now they're what is it? This is they're 5 and 6. They won 6. They're 6-1
in open practice.
Yeah, they're 6-1 in open practices now. So they finally have a kink in their arm. They're 6-1. Remember you won the day.
Well, you know what it is like. So it's two things, right? A, it's just kind of what it is in 2022. It's just sort of the way things are. But the other part is because the preseason games now have become total afterthoughts. Where these guys think about it, we've gotten one series out of starters essentially in the preseason games. So where we would normally focus more on them, the focus turns more to the open practices. It's only natural, that's the way it is.
Well, I mean, we are who we are. You know what I'm saying? We are who we are. We're not going to get an accurate assessment on what this team is, what our quarterback is until September 11th. That's when
September 11th.
That's when our first game. That's when we're going to get what this team is, what they really are, and we probably won't figure out. Hopefully, it's before the 8th game, but hopefully after 4 games, we'll see what we do best, what we do, what we need to work on, all that stuff. Usually takes 4 games.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that's crazy, guys. Tomorrow's 2 weeks from the first NFL real game.
Oh, don't
so
say that.
Far
man.
away, man.
Whoa, that's good. What do you mean don't say that?
Because that means fall is right around the corner. You know how I feel about fall.
Oh, Gunner, that's a good thing.
I enjoy my summer, man. I'm bathing in the sun every chance I get, man.
I'm ready for real games. I hear you, and I love summer too. I'm ready for real games. I'm ready for real games. I am.
I tell you what, when the leaves start turning colors, you're gonna see me on the show depressed daily. when I start seeing red, yellow, orange leaves, I'm like,
I think differently, man. I know it's football time, man. That's when football really takes shape.
Yes.
That's when things are ready where they're really supposed to be, man.
I'm with you. Look, I get where both of you are coming from. I love the summer too. It's my favorite time of year. But I get to this point where it's late August and I'm like, let's get this to make it real now. Let's get it.
Can you imagine, man?
Okay.
September 11th.
When I have to listen to both of you, and I promise you it's coming. When I have to listen to both of you from November to February, man, it's too cold to go outside. Yeah. It's too cold. I don't want to hear it.
I'm never like that. In fact, that's when great fishing is, bro. That's the best time to fish. That's when striper season opens up.
Yep.
You catch the big ones then, the stripers, the blues, tuna. This is when great fishing starts, man. Not and the fishing you like doing, lake fishing is not good then. It's not good.
But see, then also I get to hear the other side also. Yeah, D-Gun, I was going to do this today, but, man, it's too cold to be out there, man. I ain't messing around today. See, I know, you know what I'm talking about. Right, I don't want to hear it.
All right. So
I can find plenty of stuff to do in the house. Believe that.
See, that's what I mean. See, I want to go outside for a little while. After we do a 3-hour show, what's the first thing I do? I'll go outside and just stand in the sun for about 30 seconds, a minute.
Gunner, I do the same.
See what I'm saying, Rob? You get what I'm saying?
I do. I swear, man. We wrap up. My head when I finish a show, I'm a little loopy. Like I got to tell you, I'm always a little loopy, but I'm loopier after we finish a show, and I need like a minute to just sort of like it's all got to come back to me because I am like in a fog, and when I go outside, I stand in the sun, and it helps me. I swear to God, I'm not kidding you, man. I'm not, and it's not one of these deals where. Yeah, whatever. Anyway,
are you serious? Hey, Rob,
you guys will do a Shawshank through your Shawshank.
Yeah.
So yesterday I did a show. We did a show from my wife's office, right?
Right.
So her office is right over where the AC unit in the basement is. So her office is always ice cold. By 2:00, when we hit that 2:00 break,
yeah,
man, I got up. And she got a nice little space heater over. I turned that space heater on in the room, man.
You put the space heater on?
You better believe it.
Now you're worse than me. Now you're
wait. We got to take a break, fellas. We got to take a break now because I need to talk to John, man.
Yeah, John McMullen. So here's the deal. We're life is one big audible, boys, as we know, as we talked about a little bit earlier. So J Mac is going to join us next. We keep the Eagles talk rolling. We'll get a full report on everything that went down in Miami today from John when we get back. So don't go anywhere. Tom McCarthy at 1:00, John McMullen when we get back. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, Derek, Barrett, Rob. Let's talk a little bit about your finances with Principal Financial Group. And look, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to find the right person to help you because you want to be able to put that money that you work so hard for in the right hands. So you're taken care of and your family's taken care of. I got the right person. It's Jim Murray with Principal Financial Group, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, you have a small business, you might need a little help, whatever it is, Jim can assist you with. I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover to Jim, and I couldn't be happier. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751. You could also email him with any questions or inquiries. Murray, MURRAY.Jim at principal.com, Murray.Jim at principal.com.